Hello and welcome back. I hope you had a nice break and are already full of energy to face the second part of this Citython. In just some minutes, we will discover the second challenge for the city of Bilbao and right after the challenge for the city of Barcelona. By the way, really nice shootings of the cities of Bilbao and Barcelona. In the previous videos, we were just watching with a cup of coffee in the hands. Also, remember that after each challenge presented on the TechPil talk, we will open a short question and answer session. So whenever you have a question, drop it in the chat of the questions and answers box in the Zoom call. And now let's go to the second challenge that will be presented by Urutz Larrañaga, Intelligent Transport System Engineer, Mobility and Sustainability City of Bilbao. Urutz is currently leading this is digitalization of mobility and sustainability department and is responsible of the electric vehicle program. Urutz, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Isabel. Good morning, everybody. Let's start talking then about the challenge number 2 from Bilbao City Council. As you can see, we have called it Solidary and Sustainable Urban Logistic for Bilbao. So let's start. I don't know if you are watching the presentation.
Urutz, can you share your screen?
No, but you have the...
Okay, I will present it. Okay,
yeah.
No worries.
Okay. So next slide, Lina. There it is. Okay, well, we all know the growth that e-commerce has had in recent years, and even more with the mobility restrictions caused by the COVID-19. So today it's easier than ever to buy almost anything with a simple click, which favors compulsive buying. And in addition to this easiness, it seems that it is not necessary to really think what we are purchasing. It's enough to ask for a lot and then return what we don't want. Someone will bring it to us and take it back. So as simple as that. It's almost crazy how this immediacy, the deliveries themselves, and even the returns can be free. But the key question is it really free? Is this really free? Next slide, please. So of course it's not. The bill of all these new behaviors can be seen in our streets. Some studies have shown out that last mile deliveries have increased in about 400% after COVID-19. This means much more traffic and saturation of our urban streets and the consequent dangerous air and noise pollution. So we have hundreds of mostly polluting vans, sometimes passing more than 4 times through the same points in the same day. This is the reality we have to face. Having said this, it's quite obvious that we have to focus on doing something with these last mile service vehicles. In Bilbao, we have found out that electrifying one of these vans, I mean, for example, giving grants to logistic operators so they can replace a combustion engine van with a 100% electric one, can be equivalent to electrifying between 10 or 12 private cars in terms of pollution reduction. So this is one van is equivalent to 10 or 12 cars. Next slide, please. So what do we expect from you guys, students and researchers? We only expect new ideas. We expect new approaches. We need your new and fresh minds to achieve some possible alternative solution to only restriction or limitations. We hope you can give us, through innovative and creative thinking, these new ideas of tackling this problem. Ideas that we might have not seen yet from this inside the box that we are used to, from the conventional thinking we maybe are using every day. We assume that electrification of these urban delivery freights must be a key component of the formula we are looking for. How can we make logistic operators part of this commitment? This is a very good question, really. There has to be something more to do than just offering grants. Many other factors of this equation could be as well urban public space, parking lots, loading and unloading areas, lockers, logistic network and schedules, or citizen habits indeed. These are some of the concepts that can be taken into account. So in that final slide, we can talk about data. So to wrap up, we offer some useful information, or at least information we hope it can be useful for this, from our conventional way of thinking. We present, for the one hand, some GIS layers somehow related to this sustainable last mile matter, layers that are publicly accessible in one of our map-based open data platform. For the other hand, we expose the result of a survey made to some logistic operators a couple of years ago about their deliveries in Bilbao. And for the last but not least, we set out millions and millions of GPS locations we have been collecting during last months by tracking and monitoring some of these vans that day after day circulate through our streets. It could be logical to think that there must be some useful pattern hiding under all this data. So this is all from my side. I wish all the participants good luck and thank you.
Thanks a lot, Uruz, for your time and insights you shared with us today. And now let's give the floor to Jesus de la Quintana, Head of Emerging Initiatives, Urban Solutions at Tecnalia Research and Innovation. Jesus is leading part of the global concept that Tecnalia has created, heading towards a smart future. 5 keys to design smart cities that joins smart structure, project financing, architecture, innovation, and technology, an economy to build sustainable cities. Jesus, welcome on our virtual stage.
Thank you, Jezebel. Thank you to EIT and to Citython. I will share my thoughts today. Obviously, the topic is huge, so I will bring you a selection. Hopefully, they will be food for thought for you. So, the urban freight, a perspective, will be starting the tech corner, asking all the Nexus 6 around, do we dream of electric vehicles? And 3 stories, a useless dystopia, numbers matter, and the new needs friends. The urban freight, a scenario. So urban logistics system is city specific, the city shape and characteristics, the logistics sector reality, the economy model, and even the culture and behavior make the environment for it. But at the same time, some general macroeconomic trends have impacted in the overall development of city logistics, and we will talk about that later. The characteristics of European urban sector makes a multi-stakeholder environment involving actors with conflicting interests, growing negative environmental, economic, and social impacts, unorganized and inefficient last-mile urban logistics, and limited space in cities, and new awareness of city dwellers that the space belongs to them. The influences, the 2 main trends that are reshaping the urban freight market in Europe are in fact 3. First of all, the everlasting development of urbanitism, attracting increasing amounts of people to the city centers since the 70s and now is boosting. The ridiculous growth of e-commerce and home deliveries. And the third one, yes, is COVID-19 that might accelerate the latter and slow the former. The solution components, one solution does not fit all, but some solution components are urbanism that sets the playground, policies that sets the rules for the game, technology provides available hardware and software for communications and intelligence, logistics determines the operational conditions, time schedule, location, delivery frequency, and the means deployed. The EU view about this topic has pointed out several of the key challenges of urban logistics, including a lack of focus and a strategy on urban logistics with only a few cities with someone in charge and responsible for it, lack of coordination among actors involved in urban logistics, and in many cases, insufficient dialogue between city authorities and the private actors who operate there. Also, lack of data and information, which makes it difficult to improve operational efficiency and long-term planning. Again, the policy measures most often consider in freight plans, parking and loading area management, integration of freight in structure planning, and also in the regulatory planning process by developing regional plans, technology, ITS, satellite navigation systems, and so on. The creation of a freight quality partnership and cooperation with the stakeholders and with other municipalities around. traffic control, efficiency of freight movements, reliable deliveries, and minimizing the delays. Sustainability in urban freight plans is a key element for European urban mobility and logistics strategies. Here, sustainability is defined by development, economic growth, environmental protection, and social equity to meet the needs and accommodate future generations that will outlast us. The goals for transport planning support economic growth. First one, reduce carbon emissions. Second, promote equality of opportunity and contribute to better safety, security, and health, and also to improve quality of life and healthy natural environment. So there's a lot of things to talk when we are talking about the perspective, and this you have to take it into account in your solutions. Let's speak about technology, last mile delivery, and electric vehicles. So fleet electrification presents an enormous opportunity for fleet managers. It's clear that transitioning to electric vehicles not only impacts the environment, but also helps improve the fleet bottom line. Big industry lanes in last mile delivery are already electrifying, including UPS, FedEx, you name it, Amazon. But also humble local companies are pioneering the EVs approach, including vans, bikes, cargo bikes, and others. Last mile fleets are overcoming the initial barriers to electrification. There are numerous long-range EVs available that have an effective range of 300 kilometers or a single charge, and these will only continue to improve as battery technology advances in combination with an over-improved network of charging stations. The re-electrification of existing vehicles is my next topic. In Tecnalia, of course, we are dealing with these things, and Autolab provides electrification for special vehicles. It enables the generation of ad hoc electrification solutions for customers with reconfigurable universal ECU drive and a model-based methodology that is able to enable powertrain architecture and the most appropriate ECU to meet requirements of vehicle efficiency and safety. And also the Smart Mobility Lab platform is helping to simulate outcomes in advance for optimum designs. So the tools are there, technology is sufficient and good for the purpose, and you have to work on it. Let me conclude with, say, 3 stories for the road. These are various thoughts, so they are not connected, but I think they are lovely for understanding what has been the history and what is happening and what may happen in the future. So mobility menu flooding and city design, also called the big horse crap, from this erroneous dystopia to a design decision, and the consequences are lasting. When today we peacefully admire the romantic stoops rise from the sidewalk to the second story in many neighborhoods in New York, we cannot associate them with crap. But the late 1800s meet a very different New York. By the 1870s, New Yorkers were taking over 100 million horse car trips per year. And by 1880, there were at last 150,000 horses in the city. Some of these provided transportation for people, while others served to move freight from trains into and around the growing metropolis. At a rate of 10 kilo per horse per day, equine manure added up 1,500 tons each day and over 540,000 tons per year, sometimes reaching an outrageous 2 meters high from street level. At the rate that horse manure was accumulating, it was predicted that by the year 1930, it would reach the level of Manhattan's third-story windows, with poop literally lining the city streets. Stoops, stairs, became an important and functional part of New York City architecture. The stoop is a very specific architectural detail that was imported from the Netherlands, where obviously the Netherlands were used to cope with flooding, water flooding. It was quickly realized that New York City being higher from horse poop was a benefit that no one could dismiss. As a result, the design proliferated. But by the early 1900s, other factors were in motion. Electric streetcars and internal combustion engines were gaining traction. Rising land pricing for stables and farmland, coupled with higher food costs, made these new options economical too. Then the adoption of private cars was the final nail in the horse-drawn coffin. And by 1912, cars outnumbered horses in the streets of the New York City. And by 1917, the last horse car was put out of commission. And the issue of horse droppings slowly disappeared into history. The second story for the road is that numbers matter, as things obviously scale up. You start with one bike and suddenly, hey, you have too many, and the city space is limited, obviously. The same thing, you start with one parcel and you know how we end. Numbers matter. A practice in Copenhagen is the removal of bikes that are parked illegally in congested areas. Leave your bike in the wrong place and it will be stolen. No, you could find that it has been moved to nearby bicycle racks. A few years ago, also bike butlers were introduced in some areas. The butlers pick up the bicycles that have been knocked over, they pump air into the tires and give the bike change a bit of oil to thank people for parking properly. So this is a bit like the stick and the carrot. Both behaviors are possible. My last story today is The New Needs Friends. If you remember the excellent film Ratatouille by Pixar, the food critic Anton Ego concluded his own epiphany with this sentence: the world is often unkind to new talent, new creations. The new needs friends. I am bringing this image that shows the paradigms of transformation that happens once you realize how much the new can bring us if we set our senses alert and we give the right steps. The virtuous cycle for cities, in our opinion, says that sound and responsible policies, regulations, and governance, ubiquitous innovative technology availability, people knowledge rights and citizen science, co-creation in all fields, and behavioral change and virtuous habits make the deal. As a conclusion, I would like to bring you back 5 ideas. The first step to solve a big problem is to make it smaller. The second one, all actors must be on stage to build a successful play. The third one, technology is amazing, but remember that people, talent, it's what creates it. The fourth one, be careful with predictions. Poop changes very quickly. And the fifth one, be friend with the new. I leave you here and I wish you good luck.
Thanks a lot, Urut and Jesus. And I would like to address now a question to both of you, because last mile delivery and electric vehicles are sectors that call for the intervention of several actors. And this is somehow where we can find the main challenge. So what is the main challenge, in your opinion, you consider that the teams will be facing, will try to find a solution to the challenge you just presented?
We would like to know that. Me personally, because this is all about working together. And we started in Bilbao giving grants to logistic operators, and this might be something done by collaborating with each other and something done by private and public intervention. So we are hoping one kind of new idea to develop this path and go on with this collaboration between entities.
Yeah, adding to what Urot has wisely said, to me is congestion. So when you have a limited space and too many people around that want to be in there, entering, exiting, and doing things, you all of a sudden, you start the problem as the pictures I showed before. One parcel is not a problem, one bicycle is not a problem, but where there are too many, and at the same time, that is the, you know, the fourth element, space and then time, you have a problem. So how to cope with that situation in cities that by definition have a limited space for doing lots of things, it will be part of the solution.
We hope so, and we are looking forward to seeing the results of this challenge from the teams. So Ulrich and Jesus, thanks a lot for being with us today, for presenting this challenge, and good luck to the teams taking on this challenge.
Thank you, Isabel.
Welcome.